All right, what's going on, Legionnaires? Welcome to a very special episode because we're moving a little bit away from the comic book world, even though I believe there are some Dune comic books.
Actually, I want to say we're not moving away from the comic book world.
Good.
Here's what I want to say. We are moving closer and closer to the origin of
okay, because you could argue that science fiction.
One could be argued
is
that
the
all
origin of comics.
Science fiction started from this.
Oh, I 100%. I 100% agree that might be the case.
Yeah.
So
some could argue we're making a little bit of a deviation, but many who know what they're talking about,
that's true,
would argue that we're actually going home. We're coming home.
And I think there has to be, while we're talking during this.
Falsetto. I've got a great falsetto.
That was good. You got it a little nasally, but I think we could work on that. While we're talking today, I'll look. I meant to do this beforehand, but well, I'm not always prepared. I'm gonna. I bet there's a Dune comic book.
I'm sure there is. And if there is, guess who's going to buy it?
This guy.
This guy is going to buy it immediately and spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah, we're going to overnight it so we can read it tomorrow.
Let's not tell Carly how much money I'm going to spend. Yes.
Well, anyway. So we are doing one of our comic corrections, comic perfections. What happened with the newest movie? This is Dune 2021. It just was released last week. We went to go see it opening night in kind
IMAX.
of an IMAX.
Yeah, I mean it was the best
we could do.
IMAX that I've ever seen in my life.
The main IMAX near us is closed.
Fine.
We went to the closest thing we could get.
Yeah,
it was the right
ratio,
aspect ratio. Yeah,
but I was still leaning in on every time that I was like really engrossed in a scene. So I should not be leaning in an IMAX.
You know
I should be like being peeled back on my seat.
You know what? Your computer's making noise. Hold on.
Yeah, my computer. Yeah, well, I've got a lot going on, man.
Well, I muted it for you because
appreciate
it. I'm glad. I'm glad we were in the theater we were in because if you were leaning forward in the Dome IMAX, you would have fallen.
I would have. I mean,
you would have fallen forward right out of it. I went to go see.
If I died that way,
it would be okay.
I would be fine.
Falling right into the
worm's mouth. I'm. Please take me that way. Please let me let that be my death.
I went to go see The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh yeah,
same. In the Dome IMAX.
Yeah,
And I sat on like the third row from the top.
Yeah.
And during the helicopter scene where Bane turns the helicopter, I almost fell out of my seat.
Yeah, you can really get messed up in those. But we need to get back.
All right,
we digress.
So Dune. We're talking about Dune today.
That's right.
So we're going to go through our normal stuff.
Exactly.
It's going to be a little bit different.
Exactly.
But hang on to your seats. It's going to be great.
Yep.
All right, so our Carnage report is what we're going to start out with first. So
let me actually jump in on this.
Yeah, go for it.
So
you're
for those
the
of you who don't
expert.
know, Dune is my absolute favorite book of all time.
Yeah.
You know,
it's kind of scary how much you like it.
I know. It redefined like what I loved in terms of reading.
Yeah.
And I have now read through all of the main Dune storyline. And now I've started reading all of the side storylines.
So the main Dune, is it 7 or 8 books?
So it's 8 books, technically.
8 books. So,
yeah.
Okay, so the 7th book is 2 parts,
the 7th book is split into 2 pieces. Frank Herbert, he passed away before writing Dune 7. And what happened was his son found an outline with an outline for Dune 7.
Right.
In his safety deposit box after he had passed. So based on that
writing
outline,
from the grave.
Yeah, based on that outline, his son Brian, so Brian Herbert went on to write Hunters of Dune and Sandworms of Dune. And that was essentially Dune 7, but it's 2 books.
Okay. And that closed out the series.
And that closed out the main series.
Right,
okay?
right.
But then
Brian.
Yeah, so Brian and Kevin Anderson are the 2 who went on. Kevin Anderson was Frank's friend, and they basically, between Brian and Kevin, they finished out that main storyline. There's some different ideas around how it was finished and some different perspectives.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it was finished phenomenally.
Yeah.
And I love, and I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a spoiler ridden
Yes.
episode.
Lots of spoilers.
Lots of spoilers.
Turn off your ears.
And I'm not just talking spoilers.
You can just watch us silently if you want.
I'm not just talking spoilers for the movie. I'm talking I may spoil the entire Dune series.
Oh,
so
okay. I'm going to
just be
turn
careful.
my ears
if
off
you,
then.
If you, yeah.
I've only read the
I'll
first
be careful.
book.
I'll be careful.
All right, be careful. We're only talking about the first book.
But here's what I will say.
Yeah,
Something
half
happens
of the first book.
at the very end of the entire Dune series in Sandworms of Dune.
Yes.
That changes how you read
yeah, you've mentioned this to
the
me.
entire novel. So now it makes you go back and reread the entire thing from a completely different perspective, and it is amazing the way it is done.
Did this movie do a good job of encapsulating that thought process of knowing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
so
good.
Because I know.
Little bits.
I'm not going to go any further.
Be careful.
But because I know what I know, it makes
you can see
actually this first part so much better.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm only one book in, so I got a long way to go.
You
but
really got to dig in.
Can I just say
that
it's a science fiction book, right?
Yeah.
Frank, Kevin, and Brian.
Yeah.
Like the most normal names in the world.
Most names in the world.
Like,
and they came up with some of the most
craziest names.
Crazy names ever created.
It's like they don't sound like
sci-fi writers. I got to give myself
writers.
credit. I know you gave yourself some credit too.
Yeah.
What I read in my head actually lined up with what we saw
it was pretty
in the
good.
theater,
There
which
were
I was pretty happy
There were
about.
a few I was off on. It was like it's Harkonnen, right? According to the movie?
Yeah,
Harkonnen. Is it Harkonnen or Harkonnen?
Yeah, I don't know now that I just said it.
Yeah, right?
I don't know.
Whatever it was, whatever the movie said, I said the other.
I think it's House Harkonnen.
It's Harkonnen, right?
Yeah.
According to the movie.
Yeah, I think
I read it Harkonnen.
I read it Harkonnen.
I read Harkonnen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're little things. So they're pretty good.
I had to for the purposes of this podcast. Okay?
Yes.
You know, I have to be able to take a step back.
Yeah.
I have to look at things objectively. And I have to give a very objective and clear perspective on what I thought about the film.
Okay.
And so I've taken time. We saw it on Thursday.
Yeah, don't say it yet.
It's now Sunday. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
We have to go through the Carnage report.
All right, let's go through the Carnage
then
report.
Then we'll talk about how we feel.
You know what?
Did you watch it a second
you
time?
Get me on this Carnage report.
Did you watch
I just
it?
want to go into it.
You could just
I haven't watched it a second time yet.
I was gonna say, did you watch it on
My
HBO?
family has been in town, and it has killed me because all I want to do is watch it a second time.
I actually just got an email saying that my phone plan actually includes HBO Max.
Oh my gosh!
So I think I'm gonna.
Oh
have to watch
just
it
for
again.
Dune, of course.
But I think we have to go to see it in theaters again.
Yeah, again.
I'm
I
definitely
need to see it
willing.
in a dome. I need to see it in a
yes,
dome.
we do.
I need to be eaten
we need to
by
find
a
a
sandworm.
dome.
Yeah.
A dome.
A dome.
A donut at the dome. Okay. Carnage report. Domestically, so far, it has brought in about $40 million.
Yeah.
So pretty good.
That sounds small.
It
but
does.
Here's what I want to be able to say with that. Okay. That is WB's #1 release post-pandemic.
Okay, cool. That's
Since the strategy where WB has done the HBO Max release at the exact same time as the theater release.
Yeah, and they did that with Dune too, right?
Yes, they did that with Dune. This is the highest domestic release to date. Since the pandemic and since they implemented this strategy. So that is saying something.
And
Number two, this is Denis Villeneuve's highest grossing opening period.
Okay, that's good. Good for him.
He made Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Which had a similar epic feel to it. Not
did.
to the same scale. Not
did.
anywhere near the same scale.
Yeah, and a lot more neon.
But it did not make as much as this. So
sure.
This is a strong opening for this.
You know
right
what's
off
funny
the bat.
though? Both really niche sci-fi stuff.
Yes,
like Blade Runner, cult classic.
But that's why he was drawn to it. That's why he was drawn to it. Yeah,
I feel like Dune is even more of a cult classic though. Like more of an obscure, obscure cult classic.
I agree with you for
Blade Runner.
right now, but I do believe this film is going to put so many more people on.
Oh, let's do it!
I really believe it.
Man, great. Internationally, made about $180 million, and so it's putting out.
It's actually
$220 million
right
so
off the bat.
far
The international is absurd.
Yeah, it's over twice as much. I mean, that's nuts. It's over four times as much. I taught math for like a year,
sir.
I taught math for like a year.
So
I was just doing it quick.
I'll jump in.
Quick, it's more than twice. That means it's a lot. I feel like that sounds like a lot. It's more than twice.
So I'll jump in.
Yeah.
It was its current overall worldwide gross is $220 million. It was created, which this blows me away. This absolutely blows me away.
Yeah, the budget?
The budget was
Wild.
only $165 million.
Yeah.
I am astounded because
Yeah.
if you have seen this film,
Yeah, some of the best VFX.
epicness of this film,
Yeah.
the scale
Yeah.
of the world building and the universe build. We're not even talking world building. We're talking universe building here.
Yeah.
And the size of some of the things that we are looking at in this film.
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
Yeah.
I am absolutely blown away. And let's put those things aside because that's typically where you're dumping a whole bunch of money, especially with CGI and the way that they're doing CGI.
Yeah, the textures alone, like the simulations of the sand and the dirt and all of that. I mean,
But I want to add
of computers.
This cast is
my word.
absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, so we're
This
getting
is
to next.
this
man.
is
It's
absolutely
huge.
a perfect cast. So go ahead and jump in.
my
But I'm
goodness.
I cannot believe they made this for $165 million.
And we're able to afford all these people.
Right.
All of it must have gone to the
Yeah.
The VFX was just done in a basement. Somebody did it for free.
Somebody just blew it out the
And
water,
they were
and
incredible
they were
about it.
like,
They were so
I don't need
good.
you don't need to charge me for it.
Yeah, it's good. I'm doing it for the love of Dune.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people will probably do that
I wouldn't be
and get their
surprised.
name on that kind of a movie. They'd probably.
Oh
do
my
it.
gosh.
All right, so we have pretty newcomer here, Timothy Chalamet, coming out as Paul Atreides.
He's not that new anymore. He's
no,
not
he's-
that new
he's
anymore.
rising the ranks.
He's really been
He's
rising.
rising the
He's
ranks.
become
And
a
he's
really
good.
bankable star.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him as Paul.
I thought he was a great
I think
Paul.
he does a good balance of
I was concerned
I'm
with
a
him
kid,
at
but
first.
I've got like this greater purpose thing.
Yeah.
I think he did a good job.
I was concerned with him at first, but I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I thought he did a phenomenal job.
He's got really high cheekbones,
Yep.
which
Sure.
that speaks to space royalty. I think.
I think that speaks to royalty in general. That's usually what
probably.
people look for.
I
But,
think so.
yeah.
All right, we have Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica, who you might
Yep.
know from like the Mission Impossible series.
Yep.
She's fantastic. Zendaya as Chani.
Mhm.
She is, Spider-Man and all that wonderful jazz. She was not in it much. Man, she was
So-
only in it for like
So
10
here's the
minutes.
unique part about Chani.
She was on set. I think she was on set, she said, for like 2 days.
Okay, so there's a couple
That's
things
crazy.
here. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually not surprised by that because
Well,
when
it just
you look
stinks
at
because if they don't make the second one, then like
Well, yeah.
she's only in it for like.
but they're banking on them
Oh,
making
yeah,
the
yeah, for
second
sure,
one, and
100%.
I believe it 100%
Yeah, I think they
it's
will.
going to be made
I
at
think
this
they
point.
will.
But
Yeah.
the thing about this is they were banking on casting her for the second part.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So the first
yep, they
part
were
of the
setting
movie,
it up for that.
Chani's not in it.
No.
I mean, that's the reality.
Yeah.
She's not in it that
right
much.
at the very end.
But she was in it if you count the
the
visions
dreams.
more.
Yeah,
all the
visions.
dreams
Yep.
and visions more. She was in it quite a bit.
That was just a recycling of the same footage.
footage. Yeah, yeah.
All right, we get, and then it just keeps snowballing here. We got Oscar Isaac as Duke Leto.
Oh my gosh, he's
incredible.
so good.
Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho.
He actually
So great.
Yeah. Jason Momoa was the absolute best.
Yeah, oh, he was so clean shaven.
Clean shaven.
Haven't seen that
no
since
beard.
Baywatch.
No beard.
Man, he was crazy.
Yeah.
He looked good. I think he looks good both ways.
Did I say that wrong again?
You did. You can't
Yeah.
say his name at
Can't
all.
say it at all.
Jason
Jason
Momoa.
Momoa.
There you go.
Why did I say it wrong?
Momoa. You either say MoMA or Momoma. It's Momoa.
I thought I said that.
No, you didn't.
Jason Momoa.
There you go.
Jason Momoa. So,
There you
and
go.
I love him as an actor,
Yeah.
and I'm messing up his name. I apologize. This is
He's so
ridiculous.
good. Yeah, he's
but actually,
Aquaman.
no,
he's
but he
in
was
that
the standout character in
blind
this
show.
movie.
Yeah.
Duncan Idaho
so good.
is so important.
Fight like demons, man.
So important
So
in the
great.
entirety of
Yeah.
this film,
Yeah.
but not just this film, in the overall storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Duncan Idaho, he played him as I would just completely envision him. And
So good.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa
Yeah.
is
Good
not
job.
somebody who, when you cast him, you can typically see past him as an actor, right?
Right. It's
You
always
see
going to be like the
Jason
surfer dude.
Momoa playing somebody.
Yeah, he's the
It's
surfer
not-
dude who likes to smile and give big hugs.
Not this.
No,
that
he
was
was
Duncan
great.
Idaho. That
Yeah.
was Duncan Idaho.
So good.
Period.
The only time I saw Jason Momoa was in the very first scene
Yeah.
when Paul's coming to meet him after he's coming off the
That's
cliff,
true,
and
yes.
he does that like run to the
Yeah,
bear
yeah,
hug.
yeah.
He did that to Ben Affleck on the red carpet
He-
for Justice League. That's
he
just
does
what
that for everyone.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
all right, there he is. And then he-
And then it
gone.
immediately changed, and that was Duncan
Yeah,
Idaho. And
man,
I'm
he
like,
was so
oh my gosh.
good. All right, he was great. We get Stellan Skarsgård
The-
as
the
Vladimir
epitome.
Harkonnen.
He was evil.
He was creepy.
Incarnate.
And gross
Evil
incarnate. He was like,
oh my gosh.
yuck.
No, you actually perfect here. I say evil, you say gross.
Yeah.
It was gluttony.
It was.
He
yeah,
was
100%.
Perfect.
Yeah.
He played gluttony as a person.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was phenomenal. Baron Harkonnen was
Oh, man.
he was just spot on.
so
and I
good.
didn't know how they were going to do him.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah, yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know how they were going to bring him to life with the suspensors.
Oh,
and
yeah.
his
I
weight.
loved the floating. The
Oh,
floating looked great.
It was
the first
actually,
scene when he had the long robes and everything.
It was.
Man.
It made
Eerie.
him more eerie.
Yeah.
Yes. The floating actually was a part of who he was. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
You might under all the makeup, you might recognize him as Eric Selvig from
Yes.
Marvel. So
Yes.
pretty sweet. Then we got Josh Brolin coming in as Gurney Halleck.
Yeah, he was great. He was
Javier
great.
Bardem as Stilgard. That's
Barely in it, but
unreal, but he
just
was so
played him
good.
perfectly.
Oh, he was great.
Played him perfectly.
His whole
but
scene
hardly in it.
when he first meets the Duke and he
Yeah.
comes in
Yep.
and he spits on the floor. And like,
Oh.
just wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Exactly how I would expect Stilgar to handle that moment.
Yeah, for sure. We have let's see, Dave Bautista as Robin.
Oh yeah.
So good. He was great. We can't wait to see more of him. And then I always get this dude's name wrong. Every single time. So David, I am sorry. I'm looking right in the camera because I know that he watches. I know he's a nerd.
Oh, of course he is.
And he's
Yeah.
a wonderful nerd.
Big fan.
And he's pretty much been living nerd heaven this past year because
Sure.
he is in the Ant-Man movies. He is in the Suicide Squad movie. And now he is playing Peter, the Mentat. And that is David Dastmalchian.
Yeah.
I don't know if I actually said that right, but
Peter
he is in there.
DeVere
And
yeah.
man,
The
he is
Mentat
so
for
great.
the Harkonnen house. Yeah.
And man, is
Yeah.
he good. He's super. I wish he was in it more, but man,
I actually don't.
he was great.
I actually don't wish he was in it.
No,
more.
I love.
Yeah.
So I'm reading through it right now with my
Okay.
wife.
Yeah.
And there's so much conversation between him and the Baron
Yeah.
that
There
is
is.
just
There is.
he is so disgusting.
Yes.
Like
he
he's
is.
so gross.
Yes.
And I just
Ruthless and
I want to
vile.
see more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
He's a
Here's the
very
thing with that.
emotive mentat, which is weird.
That is. Well, it's because of his Samuda addiction.
Right.
Right.
Exactly,
So
'cause
he is not
he's drugged up.
He's a real drugged up.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
true.
That's
true.
In the book, he has an addiction that causes him to slip up in a way that a mentat should not.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
that's what the Baron uses to hold over him.
Right. And
Right.
and that's probably kind of why he chose him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because he chooses
Yeah.
people that have things that he can pull on.
He can keep his
right?
thumb
keep
on
his
him.
thumb on him.
Yeah.
Last one real quick before we get into the source material and just their overall review. I forgot Stephen McKinley Henderson, who's playing Thurfer Hawat.
Yeah.
Again, we didn't see a lot of him
The pieces
in this
he showed,
movie.
the parts that he played.
Man,
were
but he was
good.
great.
Yeah.
He was great, and he got
Solid.
to. He was the
Solid.
the mentat. We got to see use his mentat powers.
Mm-hmm.
His eyeballs go back, and it made me feel
he
really
does the
uncomfortable.
calculations in his mind
And then it comes
of the
back.
cost that it
Yeah.
would take for all of them to be able to travel for that ceremony.
Right.
Where it was the changing, the changing of the fiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what it really was is he was looking at his own brain,
Sure. Yeah.
and he was watching all the numbers and being like, "Man, I'm
Yeah.
good."
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
That's what it is.
It made me
Yeah.
very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
what
liked
it says
though.
in the books,
That's
too.
what-
Yeah.
Mentats just study their
watch
own
their
brains.
own brains.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't blame them. It's pretty
No,
cool in there.
That isn't what they do.
No, not at all. Great cast, though.
Yes.
Firing on all cylinders. Every single one of them, phenomenal. We want to see more. We want to see more.
Yeah.
You are our resident expert, as we
Yes.
said before. So we're going to jump right into our review now, because I think let's mold the sources into the review.
Yeah, we
'cause
can
I think
do the
it
source
will.
material in with the.
Yeah,
well,
I think
we
it
can just
fits
say
nicely.
Source material is Dune.
It's Dune,
the
first
novel written by
the Dune,
Frank Herbert, and
Sand Dunes.
this is the novel
Yeah.
that every sci-fi movie
Yeah, Star Wars, Star Trek,
adaptation
everything.
has been built off of,
Battlestar Galactica.
and it has been failed actually numerous times now
Yeah,
by
David Lynch tried to make it.
Yeah, so
with
David
freaking
Lynch.
Sting
Yeah.
and Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
And he
So
still messed it up. Sorry, David.
To a certain point,
Another David I'm apologizing
that's not necessarily David's fault, to just
Sure.
dig in there.
Sure.
So David has apparently a cut of Dune that is phenomenal.
I've got a cut of Dune.
Everybody's
got a cut of everything.
I'm just telling you.
We saw what we saw. Everybody's got a cut of everything.
What we did see was hot garbage.
It was garbage.
Now, to be fair,
the first like
75%
was pretty good.
Yeah, and then they took this turn around the voice and the way that they engaged with the sandworms and everything.
Everything died.
Everything fell apart
at that point. But
now,
this one didn't go. This one didn't.
So there's that one. Hold on.
Yeah,
there's
Sci-Fi
also
Channel.
The Sci-Fi Channel made ones, which were actually quality.
Yeah. Didn't they? Wasn't James McAvoy in
Children of Dune?
He was
Children of Dune. He was Leto the Second.
Yeah. Little James McAvoy. Way
real
before
young.
he did.
Susan Sarandon was in it.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Xavier.
So I would actually say,
here's
the thing. Those movies,
I heard they were pretty good.
They were actually pretty true to the storyline and to the actual to the book.
Yeah, they were just TV quality.
Just TV quality movies.
Which,
and they could only do so much with it.
Right.
However, here's what I want to say.
Yes.
Here's what I will say about the source material.
Okay.
I believe they needed to make a decision around what to focus on in the novel. Okay?
Yes, they couldn't do everything.
There's so much in Dune that you can focus on. There's so much political intrigue, action.
Yeah.
There's so much deception. There is so much that you can't get it all. You could make a 9-hour movie. And you're not gonna get it all.
It's like 5 pages about how he's standing at a railing.
Right. It's insane.
I mean, his level of detail, and it sounds really stupid, but it's not.
No.
His level of detail, that's actually one of my favorite scenes in the book, in the first book.
Yeah.
Is there's a moment where they're describing the Duke standing at the railing looking over.
This is right before the meeting.
Yeah.
Where he actually has to...
Is it Arrakis or Arrakis?
Arrakis.
See, I said it Arrakis when I would read it. But
Arrakis,
he's standing and looking over Arrakis, and Thurfer Hawat comes out and talks to him.
Yep.
But there's such a description about the architecture and the railing and the city,
but it's also
and his mind, and it's just so beautiful.
Yes,
it's wonderful.
His internal dialogue.
Yeah, it's unreal.
The Duke is dealing with at that moment.
Yeah.
So in the movie, you don't get that at all.
You can't, because you can't be in an actor's mind.
You don't get that at all because they go right into the meeting where they're discussing what they are taking over, what they have, what the Harkonnens left behind,
right.
what the
their
amount of
are.
Money that is taken out, and so we don't get that scene. But the scene you're describing is literally the Duke's internal dialogue, considering everything that he has done in taking on this fief. The danger that he has put his family in, knowing that they are going to go to war, knowing that they've stepped into a trap, but also knowing that his reputation is at stake and his son's livelihood is at stake. So, walking through all of that, it's like 5 pages of just, it's
incredible,
in the moment.
It's incredible.
It's the Duke staring at Arrakis.
Right.
And you read 5 pages about
it's literally, it's probably like a minute and a half of actual time.
Right.
But he stretches it out. But it's not like a bad, like some books do.
Oh no, it is.
Where it's
I'm fully engrossed.
Like, have you ever tried to read or read Last of the Mohicans?
No.
So it is not Last of the, I'm sorry, Ben-Hur. Last of the Mohicans was what I picked up.
No, I've watched Ben-Hur.
I've watched Ben-Hur.
I have not read Ben-Hur.
I liked watching Ben-Hur. I tried to read Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
It is the most detailed, but in the driest fashion possible that it just makes you want to gouge your eyes out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just terrible. This is not that way. I feel like it's similar amount of detail, but he does it in such an eloquent way. It's just, it's wonderful.
So to bring it back though, they had to choose, okay, how are we going to focus on the most important pieces of this novel?
What do they
and
pick?
Stay true to this.
Yeah.
And move forward. And I think they did an excellent job of that. I think
agree.
They chose the politics.
Yep.
The emotional struggle.
Yeah.
And then the action. And that is what they focused on.
Yeah.
Everything else faded away. So the internal struggles, that's so much of the Dune novel is based on, and the internal dialogue, it just isn't there as much. You have to see you have to see the characters.
You can see
play
in their
that,
faces,
yeah, in their emotions,
in their eyes,
yeah.
right? I mean, like
that's the
I could
only
always get lost in Oscar Isaac's eyes.
Oh my!
I mean,
yes.
that's just not even a
and they
question.
gave him a heck of a beard,
killer beard.
Oh
man.
my gosh!
Like we've talked
Yes.
about beards that are like sculpted. His was like a perfect rectangle.
Honestly,
it was incredible.
Not just a perfect rectangle. That is a perfect rectangle that did not move. No matter
No,
what.
he was out in the wind.
Yep.
His hair's moving. His beard is like
solid.
Like
that is a rock beard.
You know, it's like an oak. It's like an oak tree.
That is
face.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, it was
that
great.
Is exactly what it is. So
yeah. Anyway,
I want to go back to my original point here. So I have to.
Yeah.
You know, as a Legion of Comic Correction.
Yes.
Team member.
Keep talking.
I have to take away, my own personal feelings, and I have to be objective in this situation, correct? I have to be able to do that.
Can you do that?
Well, let me tell you my objective opinion on this, okay? And this is after having taken a few days to reflect on this.
This is going to be rich.
After taking a few days to reflect on this and everything, this is the greatest movie ever created or will ever be created. In all of history.
No, it's not.
Or the knowable future.
I don't think that's subjective or objective.
I believe that's incredibly objective.
I don't think it is. I think it's very
believe that
subjective.
Is a very incredibly objective.
By the way, there are Dune comics.
I do know that there's a comic.
Yeah.
And you want to know why?
You have
Actually,
it.
I know. I already
don't
bought.
You have?
I bought that for Ox King. I bought the first one on there for Ox King.
I was going to say, I thought I saw this in your house.
Yeah.
You
How
bought
did you run into your mic?
Because I was whipping my head.
How?
Look,
you
it's
whip your hair
difficult.
back and forth?
You're here. The computer's here.
Yeah, but the mic isn't moving.
Research. Yeah, but I'm moving. I'm swinging around. They also have a comic book series called House of Atreides.
Yes. Well, House of Atreides is also
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 8 of them.
House of Atreides is actually it's a book as well. So Brian Herbert goes into each of the major houses
Brian
as well.
Herbert. It's even
So Brian Herbert
here.
does House of Atreides, House Atreides, House Harkonnen, and House Corran. House Corran is the Emperor's line.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So
it looks pretty sweet.
Do you doubt or do you disagree with my objective opinion?
That's pretty cool.
You disagree with my objective perspective?
I don't disagree with it. I mean, yes, I slightly disagree with it.
What? How could you? Why?
Because I don't have as much history with Dune as you do.
That's true.
You've read, so you're coming at this movie with the vantage point of all 7 movies, all 7 books.
Yes. Yeah.
And some of the prequel novels.
Yeah.
I'm coming at it with. I've read the first book, so I thought it was a very faithful adaptation to the first book.
Yep.
But it's not my favorite movie of all time.
No,
there are better
it's
movies.
Right up there with me.
I
gotta tell you.
No, I will say.
I gotta tell you, I am blown away.
It is
by
very
this.
high.
Yeah.
Right, our movie theater did a really gutsy thing.
Yeah.
In that it showed a trailer for Dune right before it showed us Dune.
Yeah.
I was like, what is very gutsy. But in that trailer, some random magazine, I don't remember who it was probably someplace popular and famous, but I didn't read who said it, but they said, this is the next Star Wars Lord of the Rings movie.
Yes.
That's what they said. And I was like, that's a pretty
that.
I was like, that's a pretty gutsy thing to say.
It is. It's a bold statement.
But I would say that it felt very Lord of the Rings in its scope and its epicness, and that instantly it was a classic to me.
Yes.
Like as soon as we finished watching the movie, I had 2 thoughts. One, I'm afraid young people won't like it because it's very reminiscent of the slower classic science fiction and fantasy movies that really let things breathe. It's a little slow for today's culture. The second thing I thought was, I can't remember the last time I saw a new movie that was paced like this, and man, did I love it.
Yeah.
I wanted more and more and more. So I loved it, and I think probably anyone our age and older will really love it.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid the younger generation might get a little bored with it. I saw a lot of phones out.
I don't know.
I saw a lot of phones out in the theater.
I got to tell you, I don't necessarily I agree with your second statement 100%.
Yes, instant
that is
classic,
why-
amazing. I can't wait to own it and have it in my house.
That is why Denis Villeneuve wanted this in 2 parts. There was no way.
Yeah, you
there's
can't
no
fit-
way
no, you
to
can't fit
tell
it.
this story in a 2.5-hour movie.
Though
it's just not possible.
I could have had a 6-hour movie
yeah.
right here, right now, because that 2.5 hours felt like an hour.
Oh,
maybe
100%.
maybe 45
But
minutes.
but
it was
that's where
incredible.
I disagree on your pacing point. Like, you literally are saying at the same time that you're saying,
But that's because
it
I
felt
appreciate
like
movies
45
like that.
minutes.
I appreciate movies like that. Though.
It
Like,
also was too slow.
I appreciate movies like that, and I
But
feel
I
like
don't
I
think
do
it was
because I
too
was
slow,
raised
is
that
my
way.
point.
No, I don't think so either. I'm afraid the younger generation will.
No, but this is where I am trying to
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
be a little bit
yeah,
more
go
objective.
for it. Yeah,
so
yeah.
hear me out. I thought they balanced I felt like they hit the timing on the
Yeah.
action moments
Agreed.
in the movie at the right times.
Yeah.
And not just the action, suspense and thriller.
Oh yeah. It was.
When
Yeah.
Paul
Yeah.
put his hand
Oh,
in the
Gom
box,
Jabbar?
yes, and he had the
Oh,
Gom Jabbar in his
man.
neck.
Yeah.
That was intense. That
It
was.
was.
And you
That
want to know
lady
what
was
made
creepy.
that movie really intense?
The noise.
Yes.
The noises.
Oh my gosh, Hans Zimmer.
Horrible noises.
Hans Zimmer.
Horrible. How did he make those noises?
He is phenomenal. But
Terrible
it's not
noises.
just that; it's the music.
He channeled demons
He
into those
drove.
noises. Yeah.
He drove this movie with the music.
Oh, he usually does.
Oh
man.
my
His
gosh,
music's
it was
incredible.
so intense.
Think about like Inception
Yeah.
and the Dark Knight trilogy,
Yeah.
and like did he do Memento? I can't remember, but like his movies are always he always drives
Yeah,
the
but
emotion.
I
but
I
this
hear
was
that,
more.
But this
was
more.
more.
It was
It
bigger.
was yeah.
It was bigger.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I do believe that there were times where it could be perceived that it might be a little bit slower, but
Yeah,
the
it's just
reason
dialogue.
for that,
The dialogue, which I love. I loved it.
Maybe.
I just saw a lot of phones from young people. I have ADD, so I'm sitting there in the theater.
there
and
was one person in front of us to the
Yo,
left.
That lady
And
dropped
that
her.
lady dropped
She
her
dropped her phone like 6 times.
6 times. And I don't think it was. I almost lost it. I almost got up
I
and
know.
chucked that phone
Or just
as
like,
far as I could.
I'll hold it for you.
Yeah, like what were you doing? That was
I don't
one
know.
person.
No,
though.
but I scanned because my eyes they flit.
Yeah, okay.
You know, they flip
Okay.
back and forth. But regardless, it was incredible. I would say I have to see it again.
Oh,
I have
I
to see it again.
cannot wait.
But I
to
would
see
say
it
at this
again.
point, it is in my top 5 movies of all time.
Oh, see,
I would
yeah.
say it's in my top 5. I
Yeah.
would say that for sure.
And here's the reason. Yes,
really
yeah.
good. But I have to see it again.
can't separate out everything. Obviously, this
Sure.
is my favorite. This is my favorite book of all time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So like,
And they're doing it
they are
well. That's
doing-
awesome.
I was
Yeah.
beyond afraid going into. You and I talked about this several times. I was beyond afraid they were
Yeah.
going to mess it up again because here's the thing: I knew they had split it into 2 parts,
Right.
and I said if they mess this up,
Well, they
we're
hadn't greenlit
not
the second part.
even
That was the
going
problem.
to get a second part.
Yeah. See, but the Lord of the Rings, all 3 were greenlit at once.
Right.
But this one, the second one, hasn't. It still hasn't been greenlit.
Which
so it's
kind
like,
of makes
eh.
sense. Which kind of makes sense it hasn't been greenlit because
Sure.
I
Nobody knows
do-
it.
One of the things that I do want to say here
Yeah.
that talks a little bit more about scope and span of this. That is
Yeah.
different than Lord of the Rings. That is different than Star Wars. Is
Yeah.
if you actually create this to be all of the. Let's say they try to create this to be all of the originals 8 books. Right.
Whew.
Hear me out on this.
It's good.
That spans nearly 5,000 years.
Wow.
Yeah, let that sink in for a moment.
Yeah.
So that is what people are saying is potentially the downfall of this series. You could make Dune Messiah,
Dune Messiah,
Children of Dune, and then
Yeah.
you could stop there because that's going to be your characters. But
Right,
some
that's
people are
these
going
current
to
people.
change. Some people
Yeah.
are going to die.
Sure.
Some of the people that we actually see in this come back. Like we are
What?
going to. We are. What I'm saying is those
Yeah.
3 you could do that with.
Right.
But the second you get to 4, the
It
difference
changes.
between the time between 3 and 4
Yeah.
is 3,500 years.
So and I don't know this.
But now some people say, hold on. Some people say that works as a negative That works.
Okay.
That's a problem for the series.
Yeah.
I don't see it that way. If this lands, I see that as a potential positive because where people, like in Harry Potter, they needed to do 8 films with the same people before they aged out.
That's what I was going to ask you. So I don't know this.
Yeah.
So in book 4, are there people still alive from book 1 in book 4? Or book 3 in book 4, like, do they age more slowly than we do? Like, are there still people living, or is it a completely different generation?
Do you want me to answer that?
No.
Okay,
I don't. But I could, because if they didn't, so I'm gonna. You already answered. Then there are people who are from book 3 who are in book 4, whether it be through time travel or it be through vision jumping or whatever.
Let me put it to you this way.
Yeah,
there are some people who are alive in 4 who are from 3.
Yep.
Or from 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And they don't get there the way that you think they get there.
So not time travel. Of course not. You hate time travel.
Exactly.
Not time travel. I'm guessing it's some kind of vision jumping through the through Paul's.
You got to read, man.
Paul's thing.
You got to read.
I know.
For those of you who have read, you know what it is.
You guys are smarter than me.
And it's amazing. But my point with that is some people will need to stay on. And they will need to keep those people going.
Okay.
But others, what they'll be able to do is they'll be able to cast new people around them.
Right, from the next generation.
For the next generation.
Yeah. Okay.
And so
I'm cool with it, man. We can de-age anybody.
My reality.
We can make people like super young.
Yeah, but my reality here is I think they are going for Dune, Messiah, and Children of Dune.
Yeah, they're probably going to do that trilogy.
And if they get that trilogy, I can die happy man. I can die happy
for sure.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
cool.
Do
I want more than that? Yes, because also
sure, you want to see the rest of it.
Also, what's happened here is they've actually they've greenlit on HBO Max a TV show about the sisterhood.
I was good. Yeah, because I was gonna say I mean, people were really happy when Lord of the Rings finished Return of the King, but then it's like it kept going. They did The Hobbit, which some people are not that happy about. But then they've got the TV show coming about the Silmarillion, so it's like there's so much extra literature, and with Dune, it's the same thing.
There's more than Lord of the Rings. There's more literature around Dune than there is probably around any science fiction.
Maybe
period.
With all of Tolkien's mythology that he wrote and the entire language he wrote.
I guarantee you, if we're including all of what Brian Herbert has written,
yeah, that's true with Brian Herbert, but that's 2 authors.
But what I'm
what
I'm saying is
they've got plenty.
He's
plenty
carried
to go
on,
with.
you know.
Yeah, plenty
so
to go with.
If we're just talking Frank Herbert and Brian Herbert coming in to finish it out, then we're only talking
7.
those 7, 8.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But if we're talking all of the different literature that has come in around it,
right? Because all of his prequels and all
there's prequels. There's stories about each of the houses. There's stories about all of the different types of beings that there are. So the guild navigators, the sisterhood,
mentats,
the mentats, exactly.
Yeah,
You've got
the thinking machines.
Yep, exactly. Everything.
So, question.
Yeah.
First movie came out.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Halfway done the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Second half is where David Lynch failed. What if the second half of this movie is crap?
He can't.
I'm sure that's what most people thought when they finished the first half of David Lynch's movie.
Yeah.
They were like, this is great. There's no way you could mess this up.
You mean Villeneuve? That's where he messes up.
Yeah, I'm saying we're at the same point. We're at the same point where things went south the last time they tried to make this.
Hear me out on this.
I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be fine. I don't think it'll do that.
The first half was a harder story to tell than the second half.
Yeah, but that still isn't an excuse why David Lynch's just fell apart.
Yes, but it does excuse because David Lynch wasn't the reason that his fell apart. Was because the studio chopped his stuff.
Oh, the second half.
His movie was 4 hours long.
Release the Lynch cut.
That's what everyone has said. Apparently.
Where?
But what I'm saying is
old. It's gotta be on
he will never.
Does he have it on actual film?
He said he will never release a director's cut of it because he has taken he had the studio take his name off of it.
He hates it. He pretends it's never happened.
Oh yeah, I know.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him
it's pretty
either.
bad.
But what I'm saying is the reason that happened is because
they
chopped his stuff up.
Studios? Who did the new Dune? Is it Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Guess what they're notorious for?
Yeah, well, guess who owned it then?
Warner Brothers, probably.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying,
Come
man.
on, Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers will not leave
Man, they're the
stuff
worst.
alone. I know.
Well, this was the best, though.
This was great.
This was really good.
But this is also why. I mean, I think what they did was they allowed Denis Villeneuve to take a chance. He bet on himself. He bet on the movie.
Yeah.
The thing that is frustrating is he's stated several times now he made the movie for a theater, and it shows. It shows.
Yeah. Seeing it at home is not going to be as good.
Don't get me wrong. I'm going to love it at home still.
I'm going to watch it all the time.
Seeing it in a theater and the way that he filmed it specifically, 50%. They said 50% of what they made on this movie so far. So it's 110 million is all from IMAX.
Oh, I believe it. That's because
that's insane.
There's a huge percentage of the film filmed on IMAX cameras, which means if you don't see it in IMAX, you miss part of the shot.
Yeah. Did you hear about Guillermo del Toro's comments on the sandworm?
Oh yeah.
He thought they were real.
Yeah.
He was like, where'd they find them?
Yeah. Hey, if del Toro says that, that dude is the he's the monster
master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those sandworms were wonderful.
I said
their hair,
I was joking.
All the teeth.
I was joking with my dad
cool.
at one point where I was like, I was so engrossed in this film. I was like, this is what traveling through space is. This is what it is. And there is actual planets that we can go to where these things are happening. And we found sandworms in the Sahara Desert. We can go see them now.
I don't want that to ever be the case.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
No.
Yes.
Sandworms are not good. I have to remind me to show you after we're done.
Arrakis.
Well, after we're done recording this.
I'm becoming a Freeman.
There's if I ever went on that planet, that's definitely what I would become.
Yeah.
There's a donut shop. I saw it too late, or else I would have gotten you one.
Oh, okay.
There's a donut shop that on opening day they made a donut that looked like the sandworm. Like it was a donut, it had all the teeth in the middle and everything. It was super. I'll show you a picture of it.
Yeah.
But they're great. The sandworms were fantastic, man. They were terrifying,
blew me away.
Majestic, really loud.
I don't even know.
My ears still hurt from that movie.
I don't even know how to categorize this movie. So I mean, the best name for it is an epic, but like
it's an epic.
But within that, it's a thriller. It's an action movie.
Yeah, it's suspenseful for
sure. Like there are so many different. You run through.
Yeah.
As somebody who doesn't feel emotion very much, you run through such a gambit of emotion. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. Yeah,
it was great, man. It was great. All right, so let's wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it with our verdicts, and we'll share what we liked best of the movie.
Yeah,
and what we hope for the future.
Yeah. So the verdict.
What do you got, man?
Greatest movie of all time. Greatest movie of all time.
Perfection is what it is, or
it's a
correction.
It's a perfection.
I
have one thing that I will say as a downside to this movie.
Is there anything you would change?
Yeah, there is only one thing.
What would you change?
Lady Jessica.
Oh yeah, we talked about this a little bit.
The entire movie.
She does
the entire movie.
Though, again, I'm reading it through with my wife right now.
Yeah,
and she's, at least at the beginning, she is super emotional on the inside.
But that's the point.
But I think that was the struggle he came up with. Was like, how do I show this without being able to see her mind?
The Bene Gesserit do not show their emotion in that way, and she cried the entire movie.
I think, maybe she just has wet eyes.
No, I'm telling you, that's my
Rebecca Ferguson.
I have a bit of a problem with it because. Here's the thing. In the book, you're exactly right. She plays that internal dialogue for a lot of that
She's
movie.
always freaking out about her kid.
She's always scared. She's always upset. She's not just freaking out for Paul, but for her unborn daughter, right?
Yes.
So she's not...
Did they mention that in the book?
Yes.
I mean, in the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Paul
so.
confronts her and says that...
I also know you're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought so, but couldn't remember.
The thing about this is, but the Bene Gesserit never show it.
Right. They're stone-faced on the outside. And they're always in control.
And so this movie, crying the whole time.
Though you know what? I will say, the only time she was controlled was when she was in public. In the movie, in public, she was fine. It was only when she was with Paul that she showed the emotion.
Yeah, no,
so
and I get what they're trying to do there. But what they
you wanted
needed
to see it more.
The only thing they needed to do to fix it was actually have some more times where she showed more of the stone face hard demeanor.
Yes, like in the Thopter when she makes the guy
right
when he gets the bag off. That was the Jessica we needed.
When she picks her housekeeper.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah,
those two moments.
Or when she fights
Stilgar.
When she fought Stilgar, I thought was good too.
Yeah.
The fight was sick.
I mean, it wasn't her
spinny flip.
Her
smash.
flip was good. Her flip was good. Yeah.
Smash.
It's
good. It's real good.
But like, there wasn't enough of those moments, of those stone face moments.
True. I got
for
you.
us to have that balance.
I like that.
That's all I'm saying.
I get that.
But that is my only criticism with it.
Only thing I would change, and mine's even smaller than yours, is that I think it was because of like the mood of the movie, or the tone he was going for, the color palette he chose. But I think Caliban should have been a little more vibrant. So in the books, they describe Caliban as this beautiful, lush, blue and green kind of like gorgeous place. I feel like it was very muted in the movie. It was much more lush and beautiful than Arrakis.
Yeah.
And then, is it Getty Prime, right? Getty Prime?
Yeah.
The Baron's Own World. Much more like beautiful than that, obviously.
Right.
I loved Getty Prime.
Getty Prime is just
Getty Prime was just
straight
slate.
Up.
Like it was just rock.
It's just machine.
Loved it.
Steel.
But there wasn't like, there's so, especially rereading the beginning of the book again, there's so much about the beauty and lushness of Caliban and how different it is from the Sand Planet.
I think that was just like the color tone.
I think it was too.
I think it was just color tone
and
over the movie.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not too mad about it, but I just wish it was a little brighter.
Yeah,
like a little more. I wish there would have been I wish he would have come to a much more like dead-looking planet. Like Arrakis was good. It looked very dead and bleak and just sand.
Yep.
But I wish there would have been a bigger jolt coming from. I feel like they showed a lot of Caliban's rocks, like the rocks by the ocean.
A lot of the outcroppings. Yeah.
Exactly. And so you went from like
we
rocks with some. We need to see the forests and the green and the blue sky. They went from
meadows or stuff like that. Yeah.
It was like a stormy sky, and I know they were showing rain because that's very important. That it rained a lot on Caliban.
Water. Like it was wind.
That's important.
Wind and sea power were what they ruled by there.
Right, but all we saw was the ocean, rocks, and like a cloudy sky. Yeah. And so it wasn't quite that. I wanted more of a jarring. Oh, we're on a dead planet now, compared to obviously. Arrakis is only dead on the surface,
right?
That's good, and they're starting to show that when we see like the plants and stuff underneath. But it's like I wanted to see more. I wanted it to be more jarring.
That's fair.
So that's the only thing, and again, that's just like a color issue. So if that's the only thing I'm like mad about,
that's a heck of a pick.
Then I'm happy about being mad about that.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yo, it was so good, man.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Cannot wait for part 2.
We will be waiting for part 2 to be greenlit.
Yeah.
And when part 2 becomes greenlit, we're going to start screaming.
They haven't even started filming it
No, because they haven't said they could.
Yeah.
Once they greenlit it, though, we will be
But it's going to be so long. It's going to be so long because they have to film the whole thing.
We could see a Christmas 2023 if they start, like, now.
Right.
If they start in the next few months. We might.
They're not going to be able to get everybody's schedule synced. It's just going to be so long.
It's probably going to be
It's going to
be a 2024 spring.
I know.
That's probably what it's going to be. Well, we got other movies to watch.
Yeah.
And we'll watch this one
over and over
until the next one comes out.
Yep.
All right. Well, here's to more good movies this year because we're ending the year on some good movies.
That's right. Thanks for listening to the Legion of Comic Correction. Don't forget to check out our other episodes streaming everywhere you listen to podcasts. We're also on the major social platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search Legion of Comic Correction.
That's right. And make sure to check out our Patreon for exclusive supporter specials at patreon.com/Legion of CC. New episodes come out every week. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same place, same Legion.